you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel.
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
Tunmise Adeleye, 2021 defensive end recruit. Also highly sought after by nearly everybody in the country. If he hasn't been offered by them already, it might be a little too late. Tunmise, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I wanted to talk with you. We'll catch up about your recruiting and all that kind of stuff and football stuff. But Lee Brice and this spring game concert at Oklahoma. First, are you coming to the 2019 spring game?
Not sure yet.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of schools that are having the spring game at the same time. A&M, Texas, and OU are all having their spring game, I believe, on the 13th. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it to OU, but I will be back in Norman for a game in the fall. So
cool. I think Texas is April 6th, which would be a week before OU, but you know, you got options.
Yes, sir.
The reason that because I was talking to other folks, it's like, yo, man, is this recruits think this is a big deal with Lee Brice because they're not even going to be going to the game, because I think the way that the structure of the visits go, y'all wouldn't even see the game. Y'all be doing something else that's a little bit more important. But since they're having spring games, they also have names attached to them, and there's a big difference between, as I was talking to Ryan Watts, Kodak Black, and he brought up JMBLYA being at Texas, and Lee Brice. And I asked you about it, and tell everybody what your response was.
Well, I don't really listen to Lee Brice. I do listen to a little bit of country. I listen more like Luke Combs and Thomas Rhett. I listen to a little bit of country, but I didn't even know who Lee Brice was till you brought it up to me.
See,
I was like, who's that?
Right? And so you got people that fall into that category, but you got them that fall into that category all over the spectrum. It's not just young folks. I talked to a friend of mine. He's in his 60s, and he's a reporter, and he listens to all sorts of music. Like, he was a huge Wayman Tisdale fan when the Gap Band was still a thing here locally, and he's like, yo, until Lincoln said his name, I didn't know who that bro was, and I was just falling out.
Exactly.
But, you know, I put this little clip out here that's going to run, or already has run on the channel when this airs, just what Ryan Watts had to say about it, which I thought was prescient about how recruits view this stuff. And Lee Brice quote tweeted it and had some really cool things to say. And I mean, you know, don't change my opinion of his music, but I think that was really cool of him. And I wondered if I sent it to you beforehand. Does that have anything? Does that land on you differently?
I mean, I understand that from his perspective, he's going to do the best to entertain the people there, entertain the recruits, entertain the people watching the game. But at the same time, like, if the Migos come and perform, I'm going to be more inclined to come to spring games. The Migos are, like, performing there because I want to see the Migos. But, you know, it's no disrespect to him. He probably has amazing music, amazing fan base, but from the perspective of me, I'd rather come to watch the Migos or somebody else, you know.
Right. And I mean, I'm going to just go ahead and read his response to the folks because I brought it up. I was looking for it while you were telling us that I'd be at the concert if Migos was there. Okay? Quavo and Offset want to come through, I'm going to be there. But that's you and me.
Exactly.
Right? That ain't them. Lee Brice says, I promise I'll bring excitement for your boys coming in. I played Division I football myself, and I know we got to bring it. We are excited to come rock the house and hopefully entertain everyone. Like I said, and like you said, yo, that's classy, right? Because a lot of this feels like it's just taking shots at Lee Brice personally. Nah, just what he's singing about and how he's singing ain't necessarily what we listening to. That said, you know, like you go through my playlist, you'll find Jason Isbell, you'll find Drive-By Truckers, you'll find Justin Towns Earls, you'll find the Civil Wars, you'll find country music, right? And same thing with you. But does this stuff even matter to you?
I mean, not necessarily. At the end of the day, you know, if I'm looking at OU, the particular person they have performing at a spring game doesn't affect overall how I view them as a team. You know, it's still a championship caliber team. It's still a team I'm looking for, a team that has stuff that I'm looking for at the next level. It doesn't really change that overall. But if I'm just talking about as a visit perspective, you know, I'd rather have, you know, Migos or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's not, I don't know if for other recruits it might be different, but you know, the person they have performing at a spring game isn't going to change my overview, like my overall view of their program or anything like that. I just feel like it's something, you know, fun to have. Because, you know, I'm going to Texas in May too, when JMBLYA is happening, and I'm staying with some UT players. We're going to go to JMBLYA, and I'm going to have the visit. So, you know, that's something to look forward to. But, you know, at the end of the day, OU, I still like them. Whether Lee Brice is there performing or not, it doesn't change anything at the end of the day.
Right, and I think that that's important to put in perspective, and I'm glad that you were the person to do that as opposed to me, because, you know, I'm not in high school, and I'm not a highly sought-after recruit, right? I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel. But to that point, though, right, what you're talking about, hey, do you have what I need or do you not have what I need? The idea is to enhance the fan experience, and I think that the spring concert was largely in response to things a little bit before your time, with, like, I think A&M, when Sumlin was there, they had like a DJ come through and he played music during the game, and that just wasn't anything that Bob Stoops was going to do while he was the head coach at OU, and that's how you kind of get that dinosaur thing. But from where I'm sitting, everything you can do, not just to get fans to come through the gate, is also what you can do to get recruits to come through the gate. And there might be guys that might not be on campus if Migos wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, I was just thinking about this. If you were willing to go out there and get JMBLYA, right? And you were willing to go out there and spend the kind of dough to get those folks, and also maybe sacrifice some of the spring game tickets that, you know, the Lee Brice crowd be like, yo, I'm not coming to see JMBLYA. Well, maybe you get the top 25 recruits on campus. Is that fair?
Yeah, I understand. You know, I understand where you're coming from. Like, from the perspective of a recruit, somebody that's performing might change their decision to come on a visit a particular day. But, you know, it's all from perspective. You know, some kids, they don't really care about that stuff at the end of the day. They're just looking at what the university has and, like, the best intentions for them. But, you know, I understand where you're coming from. It could really alter a recruit's thinking, per se, on where to go.
Right.
For the particular vision.
So switching gears toward you specifically, heading into the evaluation period for the 2020 cycle, year 2021, do you have some things that are in the immediate future for you to check off? I know you got some visits coming up, but are there schools in particular that you just, hey, I got questions about this place that I want to go ahead and check out?
Yeah, schools that I want to check out, I'm going to Florida this week on the 14th or 15th, I believe. But then also in the near future, I want to check out Clemson, Georgia, and Ohio State, which is a school that was a childhood dream school, per se, for me, is Ohio State, you know. And those are just the schools I want to check out. Like, those four schools, Florida, Clemson, Georgia, and Ohio State, are the ones I want to really check out before going into the season.
So as you're going through this process that you still got at least one more year, what is it that you've gleaned from the recruiting process that you want other folks to know about, or just things that you didn't know about yourself?
Things that I didn't know in the recruiting process, man. You just gotta really pay attention to a school and the things that you're gonna gain from that school. Don't really feed too much into what the coaches are saying, because a coach will tell you A, B, and C at one school, and then they're fired, and they go to another school, and then they'll say A, B, and C about that school. So, you know, when you're looking at schools and different stuff, you look for what's best for you and your family, man. Don't feed in the hype of coaching staffs. Don't feed in the hype in the systems. At the end of the day, it's a 4-year decision, but it's a 40-year decision. So, like, just do what's best for you. I guess if I could tell myself something earlier before this all started, just do what's best for you and don't make any decisions too fast.
Amen to that, dog. Before I let you go, I gotta say, watching your recruiting just continue to blow up has been a lot of fun. I gotta ask you, did you go to an opening regional?
No, there is one in Houston, but the day that it's in Houston, I'll be in Florida, so I won't be able to make it.
Okay, so you're going to skip out on it this year, but definitely going to be a dude to watch in 2021 as those regionals come back around. I'm sure you're going to do the rival circuit and whatnot. Do you enjoy those? Do you enjoy the combine, tournament, regional scouting process?
I mean, it's always something. I love to compete. I'm just a competitor. And that's my trait. You know, I love competing against other guys, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like people read too much into the camp circuits and stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, man, a kid that is a dog underneath the Friday night lights, that's somebody you want to recruit. What you do at camps and stuff with all the, you know, little fancy drills and all that, that's cool, man. All the little stars that they give people because of what they do at camps, that's cool, man. But at the end of the day, what you do under Friday night lights is what matters. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, some kids will get a little bit too overhyped, or their head will get too big because they're doing something at a camp, you know, touching somebody with no pads on, and then they get to Friday nights, man, they're getting, you know, ran over or trucked, or, you know, getting blown off the ball. So I don't really read too much into it. You might do bad at the camp, do good at a camp. All that matters at the end of the day is what you do for your team on Friday nights.
Man, talk your stuff, young man. I like it. I like it. We're going to leave it there. That is 2021 defensive end recruit Tunmise Adeleye. Just keep it at 100 with all of us. Thanks for taking the time, bro.
No problem, man. You know I always got you.
Yeah, man.